Welcome back in to another Bears Latest. Today is Tuesday, May the 6th. Hopefully, everybody had a great Cinco de Mayo, and we're just a few short days away from rookie OTAs. So, we're going to talk a little bit today about a few more rookies that were picked up, whether it was in the draft or as a UDFA. We're going to talk a little bit about those guys, but first and foremost, I was doing a little bit of extra reading this weekend and listening to footage and things like that, and I came across some stuff on Montes Sweat over the weekend. So Ryan Poles did an interview with ESPN 1000 last week, talking about Montes Sweat and coming into the 2025 season. And he basically said there's nobody in the building right now that is putting in the work that Montez Sweat is putting in right now. He's driven, he's motivated, he's working out like a maniac, and he is looking to improve coming into this season. And we've heard this kind of song and dance from players before, where they get hyped up, whether it be by a GM or an agent or fellow players and stuff. But I do truly believe that this is going to happen. I think he is going to. I wouldn't call it a breakout year, but he's going to have a very productive year. And here is why I think so. Think about who is coming back to the line that is going to provide some great pressure right up there in the middle. You're getting Andrew Billings back. Andrew Billings, when he was in there, that defensive line was playing very well. And once he got hurt, it was not the same. So you have a guy like him, you're bringing in Grady Jarrett, who has been doing this for 10 years plus. And then you've got Odangbo, you've got Jervon Dexter. I mean, you've got some really good players right there, and I think the pressure is going to be so much better. I think if you're looking at the linebacking core, I think with Dennis Allen's system, I think that the linebackers are going to be able to blitz more. They're going to be able to be a lot more aggressive. I think you're going to see some really good improved play from the linebacking core. Not to say that it was awful or anything like that last year, but it is going to continue to improve, and I think the scheme is going to allow that to happen. And when that happens, when you're getting good pressure in the middle, you're getting good play out of that front seven, you're going to see guys like Montez Sweat turn it up and be able to get out there and to take down the quarterback or take down the runner or, basically blow up plays in the middle. So I'm really excited about seeing that, because when he came to Chicago via trade, his first games with the Bears were electric. I mean, it definitely was definitely a runner-up to Khalil Mack when he came in as a Bear and went on an absolute tear that season. But I think that you're going to see something very productive from Montez, and the way that might continue to improve might be by adding more to the roster. There's a lot of rumors out there that the Bears are interested in Zadarius Smith, and as much as I want to say that, I'm not really completely sure. Zadarius Smith is 32. He did have a really good season with the Lions last year. There's that connection right there. He did put in 9 sacks. So he came in and he played very well. Um, my concern is taking away from the younger players, be allowing them to get a shot to develop. But, you know, I'm torn because I feel like a guy like Smith adds a veteran presence, to that line, and guys like Austin Booker and Odangbo, um, Jervon Dexter, those younger guys would benefit from having um, that veteran presence in there. He's still got some good juice in the tank, and Dennis Allen can scheme. He can put together some packages that work for Za'Darius, and I mean, I think that there's some potential there. I want to know how much it's going to cost. If it is a low risk in terms of signing, if it doesn't cost much in terms of capital, I would say look at it. Because if you look at the other guys that are signed right now, you've got Daniel Hardy, you've got Dom Rob, you've got Zach Pickens. You've got some weaker competition. These are players that are probably they were good the last couple of years on this roster, but now that this roster is greatly improving, these are players that may not make it. And this is a great opportunity to go into the next year, the next off season, and continue to build that depth through the draft and draft some young rushers and things like that. So maybe I'm 50-50. Okay. I'm a little back and forth right now. I welcome it, but the financial commitment has got to be something that is not over the top. We cannot be shelling major cash out to these guys, um, especially when we have some other needs to still fill in. So I could see a Darius Smith signing, but I also can just see Dennis Allen working with the guys he has right now. As I was doing my further reading into what's going on with Montez Sweat, talked about how Dennis Allen sent um, Montez Sweat, sent Jervon Dexter, sent Austin Booker. He sent those guys, Grady Jarrett as well, down to the University of Miami to work on their pass rushing and technique, being able to work on getting to the quarterback. I like that. I like the fact that right off the bat, you've got a guy like Dennis Allen that is telling you exactly what he needs from these guys. They're already answering the call on that. You've got a guy like Al Harris telling the secondaries, "This is what I need from you guys. You got to do this." The direction and the demand is there. These are the things that are going to set these guys up for success. So I think that there is going to be some great improvement across that line because the teaching ability is going to be so much better. It's going to be much more organized, and they're going to play to their strengths, and they're going to make sure that they know exactly what they're doing. There's no confusion out there, and we don't have another Hail Mary debacle. Or getting torn up on the ground or getting screwed over on third and long and converting and such. So I think that Montez Sweat is primed for a better season, and I think that his supporting cast is going to be the big reason why you're going to see more pressure, and I think it's just going to be a lot of fun to watch. So stay tuned on that. So we're going to talk about rookies. Obviously, we talked a little bit about the night when Colston Loveland was drafted by the Bears at 10. But now that the dust is settled on that, and we're able to kind of pick around a little bit on it and kind of talk a little bit more in depth. Plus listening to some of Ben Johnson's comments on what he has in mind and why the player. Um, First and foremost, the guy is a beast. He is big and he patches everything in sight. That is one of his calling cards there at Michigan. He was a great security blanket, especially with the abysmal offense that they ran last season. A lot of the shorter routes he benefited from. But there's a lot of people that are saying now in NFL circles that Holston Loveland could be better than Sam Laporta. And obviously, Ben Johnson coached Laporta the last couple of seasons there in Detroit and now has his hands on Colston. But Colston's bigger and he's much more consistent with his receptions. He's a hell of a blocker. He runs great routes. He's deceptive. I have a really good feeling that Declan Doyle and Ben Johnson are going to create some goal line situations where you're going to see some creativity with Colston Loveland or with a Luther Burden or any of our running backs. He might be involving linemen. Who knows? Maybe Luke Newman will be going out and grabbing a pass. I think that you're going to see some some really good creativity. You're going to see a lot of that 12 personnel with Cole Kmet. I think that there can be a matchup threat there. If it's not going to be Kmet catching passes, it's going to be Loveland and vice versa. I think you're going to also see 11 personnel setups there as well, where Luther Burden is in there as well, being that Debo Samuel type of player. There's going to be some really good opportunities to use Colston Loveland as a weapon and a decoy, and he'll be able to provide so much um, to spark that offense that I think you're going to see a guy in his rookie season make some major waves. Will he be rookie of the year? I don't know if he'll be offensive rookie of the year. I mean, most of the time that ends up being a quarterback, anyways. But since we have a pretty rough quarterback classes here. No offense to those guys. It's possible, or you might see a guy like Tet McMillan or Ashton Genty. One of those guys might get it, but I think Colson Loveland has the opportunity to go in day one and make a difference for this team. What do you guys think about this? Leave a comment below. What do you think? What do you think about Colson Loveland? Do you think he's going to be better than Sam Laporta, or are they about the same exact player? Leave a comment below, and as always, guys, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you haven't yet, please subscribe. I'd like to thank all of you that have subscribed so far, that have believed in what I'm doing, what we are doing here, and just continue to build a great broadcast for all Bears fans alike. So let's move on. We're going to talk long snapper. You're like, Brandon, really? We're going to talk long snapper today? Well, yeah, because this is no ordinary long snapper. Luke Elkin, who we picked up as a UDFA, was out of the University of Iowa. And if you remember, yes, our beloved Bears spent a fourth round pick last year on Tory Taylor, the Australian kicker. And he had a pretty good season, especially to start off the year. I mean, the guy was booming kicks all over the place. And he ended up kind of finishing in the middle of the pack, in the top 15 in the NFL for his rookie season. So not bad. A lot of room to grow and such. But it was interesting because they signed Elkin to a 3-year deal just below $3 million total. So just below $1 million a year with a $15,000 signing bonus. And at least $40,000 of that contract is guaranteed if he makes the roster. I found that intriguing because as a UDFA, as an undrafted free agent, getting that kind of money, that sends a message to me that this pick is definitely an improvement for the special teams with Richard Hightower and company, and that this is a pick to make Tory Taylor much more comfortable when it comes to the ball being snapped to him, because everything is on the feel of it, the chemistry, being able to have a bond. And I mean, those guys were together for 40 games at Iowa before Tory came to the NFL. And so to have that familiarity, I think is important. Um, we still have a really good long snapper in Scott Daly that is with us, former Detroit guy, played with the Bears last season, did a very good job. But the one other thing that stands out about Elkin that I thought that was interesting was that he also had Tory Taylor um, bringing down the snap on PATs. So he handled the ball placement once it was snapped, and getting used to counts and you know, all the little nuances that are important whether you're kicking an extra point or whether you're punting, whatever. Um, all of that has to have a rhythm to it, a nuance, and you know, it it would be really beneficial to have a guy that is comfortable working with his partner when it comes to things like that. That's another way to improve. But I think at the same time, it also gives a guy like Scott Daly, who's like, look, I'm a veteran, I've been doing this. This gives him an opportunity to see what's working for Tory. He steps his game up, develops a better chemistry, you could see Elkin end up turning into just being on the practice squad. But with the kind of financial commitment that I see there and the connections, I just it's making me feel like we're going to lean towards that. But I mean, time will tell. So we'll see what ends up happening at rookie camp and organized mandatory OTAs and mini camp or training camp. So keep an eye out for Luke Elkin. Go Iowa Hawkeyes. Last but not least today, this is a great way to end today's episode, is talking about the other second round pick that we had a couple weeks ago, Lamar Turner, defensive lineman, defensive tackle out of Texas A&M. I was a little skeptical when we took him because like most people, I didn't know much about him, and reading up and listening to interviews, especially him speaking with the Bears media when he came to Chicago last week, being able to listen to him and to get the feedback on him, I'm really excited because this guy has a high motor. He plays dangerously, which is kind of scary because you don't want penalties, but he plays with high energy and he's ready to be very physical with you and to win the day, to make the play, win the day, however you want to call it. Turner is definitely that. A lot of people think that his fall to the second round was pretty much because of what happened in 2024. He ended up getting a new defensive coordinator. DJ Durkin was there in 2023. And he had in 23, he had Turner playing more as an outside defensive end, and then every once in a while kicking inside, um, just kind of mixing it up and just doing some really good scheming. And Durkin left, then new D coordinator comes in and decides, hey, Shamar, we're going to need you to go ahead and put on 30 pounds. We're going to kick you inside. We're going to make you a D tackle. We're going to have you try to be a three tech. And Turner did okay. He was like, I'm just going to step up. I'm going to do what's asked of me, which right there, I have a lot of respect for. Even if you know the like, what are you thinking, coach? Like this isn't what I'm used to. I don't feel like I'm as successful there, but he did it anyways. And he was still productive in his own way. He wasn't like he was the season before. So I think that Dennis Allen and company, they leaned more on what they saw in 2023 than what they saw in 2024. They saw some really good character traits, I believe, in 2024 that sealed the deal on the person that he is and that they wanted to have. Then they saw all the stuff that he was doing outside and being relentless there. And that just gives Dennis Allen another chess piece to play with, another weapon to use in these aggressive packages. Um, he always they always say that he talks like he's trying to take lunch money away from a kid out on the playground there, and just being being absolutely physical and attacking on every single play. Um, and so that's what I would like to see on this line, because I mean this just goes right back to what we were talking about with Montes Sweat. We need pressure. And this is another guy that can rotate in and, relieve other players, keep other players fresh, or kick people outside and around and be able to do some really good scheming, being deceptive, and just, having offenses wonder what's going to happen next, what's coming their way. So, again, another great rookie that I'm really excited to see over the course of the summer and see what these coaches have in store for him. What do you guys think? Whether it's about Shamar, Luke Elkin, Montez Sweat, and his hopeful resurgence this season, or our boy Colston Loveland. Give me a little feedback below. Remember to smash the crap out of that like button and don't forget to subscribe. And as always, I'm Brandon. That was your Bears latest. Now bear down.